Hello students, in the unit 7 our lesson name is A Tribute to Netaji. So who is called Netaji? It's Subhash Chandra Bose and we are going to learn about him in this lesson. In the late 30s and early 40s of the last century, we fought for our freedom. Two great leaders inspired us to fight, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi and Subhash Chandra Bose. So in the late 30s and early 40s, that is during the freedom struggle in the 1930s and 1940s, it was two leaders who inspired people to fight for freedom. So it is one is Gandhi ji and one is Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay. Each led us in his own way. Bose asked Indians to give him their blood and he would give them freedom. Gandhi promised freedom without violence. So they, though they are two great leaders, they have a contradictory principles. Okay, so Subhash Chandra Bose, he was in the idea of fighting with weapons. Okay, but Gandhi, he promised to give freedom without violence. Without any weapons, he want to get freedom. Hindus, Muslims and Sikhs adored Subhash and joined the Indian National Army in thousands. They called him Netaji. Women knew how Netaji held them in high regard. They too joined the Jhansi Lakshmibai regiment under the leadership of the fiery and beautiful Lakshmi Swaminathan. It was an all-women army. The now very popular Jai Hind and Dilli Chalo were their war cry. So Netaji was loved by Hindus, Muslims and Sikhs. Adored means loved, worshipped, so like in that meaning. So everybody liked Subhash Chandra Bose very much. So from all religion they came and joined in Indian National Army. Okay, that army was organized by Subhash Chandra Bose. So in that thousands of people came and joined it. So they all called him as Netaji and their war cry was and women also. Okay, so women also came forward to join an army. Okay, so it was Rani Lakshmibai regiment and fiery means burning. Okay, so they are very courageous. So in that term it is given fiery and beautiful because women came forward to fight for freedom. Okay, so they have the popular war cry as Jai Hind and Dilli Chalo. When the British put on trial 3 INA officers, Shah Nawaz a Muslim, Sahagal a Hindu and Dillon a Sikh, India exploded in wrath. Nehru said on 24 December 1945, the INA trial has created a mass upheaval. So once 3 officers from INA, that is Indian National Army, they were under the trial. Trial means in front of the court they have to be under the execution. So it was like a India-wide anger. Okay, wrath means anger. So this wrath meaning is it's anger. So India fully they were opposing the trial against those officers. So Nehru also said that this have created a mass upheaval. Okay, some impact it has created. Okay, Sir Claude Auchinleck, the British commander-in-chief, said that Indians adored the INA and its officers as national heroes. This is the general opinion held in India, not only by the public but by quite a considerable part of Indian Army as well. In an article published on 15 February 1946, Gandhi said, "The hypnotism of the Indian National Army has cast a spell on us." So he was not only praised by the people. He was prized by Nehru and Gandhi him itself. Okay, because they have the different principles. Gandhi was following non-violence, and Netaji was using weapons. Though they were in the different principles, he also prized him, that he hypnotized. That means people are very attracted towards the Indian National Army. So like that he said, and even the British officer. Okay, so Sir Claude also, he said that they are the national heroes. Okay, the lesson that Netaji and his army bring to us is one of self-sacrifice, unity, irrespective of class and community and discipline. 4 months before that, on August 18, 1945, Subhash had died in an accident in which his plane had caught fire. So it is believed that he died on August 18, 1945 in a plane crash. Okay, so in this lesson, let's learn about him in detail. In the history of India's freedom struggle, the place of Subhash Chandra Bose is unique. He was the leader who thought of fighting the brute force of British by armed force. He had a wonderful organizing capacity. He could raise a modern army of about 75,000 men and women. He inspired them with intense patriotic fervor and a burning desire to free their enslaved motherland. So here the history of India's freedom struggle. So in that, Subhash Chandra Bose has a unique place. Why? Because he only brought people to fight against the British rule with the weapons. Okay, with the armed forces. Armed forces means with the weapons. Okay, so unique means it's a very different from others. That is called unique. Then brute means very cruel. Okay, brute means very cruel force of the British. Okay, then Subhash Chandra Bose belonged to an educated and prosperous family. He was educated in England, Cambridge, and had travelled widely all over Europe. He looked at India from an international perspective. As he had a deeply spiritual nature, his quest for truth and the right guru had taken him to each and every corner of the country. At last, he made up his mind to follow the teaching of Swami Vivekananda and Aurobindo Ghosh in the spiritual sphere and Deshbandhu Chittaranjan Das in politics. So, in the childhood life of Subhash Chandra Bose, if you see, means he was from a educated and prosperous family. His family itself, it's educated family, and they are a wealthy family also. So he got educated from England. Okay, he went for studies in England and he traveled around Europe. So his view on India, how it was, means it was like a international perspective. Perspective means view. His view was from international level. So he used those ideas. Then he was also spiritual. Spiritual means a person who is religious and who fear God. And he want to bring up knowledge in that also. So he took up Swami Vivekananda and Aurobindo Ghosh as his spiritual gurus, and Deshbandhu Chittaranjan Das. Okay, so as his guru in the politics. Subhash Chandra had a special regard for his Muslim countrymen. Some of his ancestors like Mahipati Bose and Gopalnath Bose had held the offices of minister and naval commanders under the Muslim rulers of Bengal. The quarters in which he lived, says Bose in his autobiography, was prominently a Muslim one, and our neighbors were mostly Muslims. I cannot remember ever to have looked up upon Muslims as different from ourselves in any way, except that they go to pray in a mosque. So he had a special regard. Okay, so he had a special feeling for Muslims. Why? Because his ancestors, that means his great grandfather or his father, like that. So they and all worked under the Muslim rulers in the Bengal. Okay, and in the quarters he lived, it's also was surrounded by Muslim families. So he was so close to them, and he can't imagine Muslims as different. Why? Because he was very close to them. The only difference is they go to mosque. That's the only difference. Subhash was born at Cuttack, Odisha on January 23, 1897. His father, Janakinath Bose, was a famous lawyer. Bose was a brilliant student. He had very broad-minded views on freedom and other social issues, and his hungry soul was not satisfied with textbooks alone. Describing his childhood, he said, "In my infancy, I was brought into touch with English people, English education, and English culture. After that, I went back to our culture, both classical and modern." So he was born at Cuttack in Odisha. Okay, so his father was a lawyer. So I already told he was from an educated family. So his father was a lawyer, and Bose was also a brilliant student in the young age. And his broad-minded view on the freedom and social issues, that was very different. He was not a textbook-oriented boy. He was thinking out of the textbooks. Okay, so he, in the young age itself, he was brought in touch with English people, and I already told he went for education in England. So he was in the constant touch with English culture and English people and education. So, but in spite of that, he was again attracted to the Indian culture. Okay, both in classical means the older one, modern means the new one. So though he was in touch with English culture, he was not into that fully. He was attracted towards Indian culture only. Okay, Bose had a rebellious and independent spirit, and that was apparent from his earliest days. In the Presidency College, Calcutta, he organized a students' strike to demonstrate against an English professor who had insultingly pushed away an Indian student. So from young age, from his college days, he was so rebellious. Rebellious means who will oppose. Okay, if he is not satisfied, if he is feeling uncomfortable with anything, he will show his oppose. So that is called rebellious. So he showed his opposition in the college itself when one of his student was pushed by an English professor. So he organized a student strike to show the opposition. Okay, for this Bose was expelled from the college. After a year, he was allowed to join the Scottish Church College in Calcutta, where he secured a first class in the BA examination. So for that strike, okay, which he did in the Presidency College, so because of that reason he was expelled. That means he was sent off from the college. Okay, and after a year he joined one more college, Scottish Church College in Calcutta. There only he studied BA and he secured first class. Okay, he passed the BA examination with first class. So with this, I'll wind up this video. I'll continue the same lesson in my next video. Thank you, children.